Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show off the energy build I made and used for the competition. On the screen right now is what the build ended up looking like near the end, but in a moment I will also show what the finished build originally looked like. I'm going to explain what I experienced throughout this competition, and near the end of the video I'm going to announce the winner of the giveaway I mentioned on my last video. The competition started on November 15th, 2022 and ended 4 days later on November 19th, 2022. The meta for this competition was energy, and nuclear power plants were adjusted to craft energy every 5 seconds for this competition. So you could say this was the nuclear energy meta competition. This was a gala reward competition, so the prize was gala for the top 1,000 ranking players. I'm showing a recording I took about half an hour before the competition ended. I got a good spot I could work with, which was a desert biome so I could take advantage of the oil seep, and it had an ocean biome edge that had a route to a nearby city so I could sell via a freight pier. It wasn't that close to the city, but it also wasn't that far either. Each delivery costs 3 gasoline with the freight pier, which at the time I thought was fine, but it turned out to be a problem, and I'll explain why later. I did end up getting top 100, which was my top goal. I ended at rank 87, which I think that's great. I was producing close to 15,000 energy per hour. Well, when my build was first finished, it was over 16,000 energy per hour, but I had to scale it down. Okay, so first let me start from the beginning, and I'll work through explaining what I did until the end. Since jet fuel was cash boosted, I decided I want to do a jet fuel rush. Now, what exactly does that mean? It means that I start producing and selling jet fuel as fast as possible. I can tell you that without NFTs, this is impossible. In fact, I think jet fuel rush requires lots of valuable NFTs. I did not practice doing a jet fuel rush before the competition began, so I just winged it and hoped it worked. And it did work, but I barely made it. I decided to do the jet fuel rush on a regular server to show you how I did it while I explain the process. I began by placing my dragon in an express depot and sold 25 gasoline using my dragon and 10 gasoline using my express depot, which also used 1 gas to sell. This leaves me with 4 gasoline, 2 of which I used to sell wood for cash, and the other 2 I can use to sell jet fuel in batches of 10 as soon as I get them. I placed down a few roads and started building 1 refinery for now. It needs to be near the oil seep so I can have passive crude oil supplied to it. I placed down my legendary water tower and some tree farms to start growing trees for wood. I built 3 more builder houses to help me build faster and 1 lumberjack to collect the wood. I deleted the trade depot, silo, storehouse, and farmer house as I would not be using them. After I received the cash from selling gasoline, I removed the dragon and express depot so I wouldn't be wasting money on the wages. I built 1 fuel storage close to the refinery so that petroleum and jet fuel could be quickly deposited. I built 1 pond and temporarily placed both of my legendary water towers nearby to fulfill the water requirement to build that pond. I placed my rare water pump, which would supply all the passive water drums I needed for petroleum and jet fuel. I placed my rare solar panel, which would supply all the passive energy I needed for petroleum, but would still need 1 energy for jet fuel. I also built a worker house and 1 wind turbine to gather the spare energy I would need to craft jet fuel. I placed down a big warehouse NFT to store the energy in. All these placeable NFTs save a lot of time, space, and money, so they are extremely helpful at the beginning on any build. As soon as the refinery and fuel tank was done building, I started producing petroleum with it. I then started to build my second refinery, and as soon as that was built, I started crafting jet fuel. I then removed 3 builder houses to get some cash back to cover wages while I wait for petroleum and jet fuel to craft. Since I realized I need more money to cover the wages, I sold 2 batches of logs. This is what I did during the competition, but alternatively I could have sold the other pond I wasn't using or used less roads so I could have placed my paved road NFT to save money. At a certain point, when I knew I had enough petroleum saved up, I switched my first refinery from petroleum to jet fuel, just so I could get to 10 jet fuel as quickly as possible. Once I hit 10 jet fuel, I placed my express depot down and set up auto sell for jet fuel. And that's the jet fuel rush. From that point, I used all the money to scale up petroleum and jet fuel production, as well as building power plants for full passive energy. As soon as I ran out of gasoline, I started using my Dragon to sell 25 jet fuel at a time. I also used my Dragon to sell 25 energy at a time while I worked on upgrading the build. Now I'm going to show you my finished build layout on the visualizer. Down here I had my iron and steel production area. I used the legendary Style and Ride NFT to supply a passive 2 iron to my steel mill, which greatly helped improve my steel rate. If you're wondering how I got wood, I had an area on top of here with green timer trees and a legendary water tower. I made sure not to finish building nearby nukes until I had enough wood to craft and all the iron and steel that I needed. So as I was getting my build to this point, I sold lots of jet fuel and energy and was positive on cash. But the more energy I started to produce, the more gasoline I needed to craft in order to keep up. So I needed to switch more refineries from jet fuel to gasoline, so I would have enough gasoline to fulfill all my sales. The bad thing is, now I didn't have enough jet fuel to afford my wages. And I ran the finished build for a couple of hours and realized I was dropping fast in cash. So I decided to get rid of the least efficient nuclear power plants. Any nuclear power plants that were not directly next to our warehouse were not efficient enough to keep. So I got rid of those as needed and built more refineries in their place to craft gasoline. That way I could have some of the closer refineries craft jet fuel once more to balance out the build. If my freight piers wouldn't have costed 3 gasoline per cell, so let's say if my freight piers cost less than 3 gasoline per cell, I wouldn't have run into this issue, because then I would have needed to craft less gas, which meant crafting more jet fuel. But I noticed the situation and adapted to it. So other than that, I did experience multiple browser crashes. You know, that gray screen with the gray frowny face we all love. In total, I lost 6 hours from that, which sucks, but it could have been worse. And my storage did clog up twice because I wasn't crafting enough gasoline to sell everything fast enough, so that did slow me down for a while as well. Yeah, so that was my experience this competition. Overall, it was actually quite fun. Not as painful as stacked boxes build, but it was a slow process, mostly lots of waiting for steel to craft in my case. I put in more time in this competition than I was originally going to, but oh well, that happens. Before I end this video, I need to select the giveaway winner from my last video. If you stayed until the end of my last video, I mentioned that I was doing a surprise giveaway to celebrate surpassing 888 subscribers. One lucky person will receive an 888 Orb of Hope. This is a reward NFT, so it does qualify for play and earn rewards when that returns to Townstar. As for utility, it will negate the dirty effects to the 8 tiles surrounding it, which can be useful in different scenarios involving dirty livestock or pottery shops. In order to be entered in this giveaway, all you had to do was leave a comment on that video with either the word congratulations or congrats. If you made multiple comments, it only counts 1 entry. there was 80 eligible people for this giveaway. I will be using commentpicker.com's random picker tool to select a winner. This list contains all eligible people for this giveaway. I will click on pick a random item and it will choose the winner. If I mispronounce your channel name, sorry in advance. Okay, here goes. Congratulations to Karen McCullough. You have won an 888 Orb of Hope. I will be pulling up your comment on the screen right now. Please contact me on Discord. My username is currently dubsteprod number 0762. I'll also put that on the screen just in case. You can also tag me in the Gala Games Discord if you'd like to get a hold of me. I will ask you to reply to your own winning comment so that I know, so that I can verify that you are indeed the giveaway winner. Afterwards, I will ask you for your wallet address that you wish to receive the NFT on. That is all I will ask of you. If anyone asks you for any other information, I would beware, as there are potential scammers out there, and you always want to be careful. Thank you to anyone who participated. I do read all the comments. I might not be able to reply to all of them, but I always do my best, especially if you have a question to ask. I do want to do more giveaways in the future, although I don't have much to give away right now, but as the channel grows and more Gala Games content comes out, I'm sure I'll collect more goodies to share with the community. And I won't always publicly tell everyone about a giveaway. Sometimes I'll just mention it near the end of a video for anyone who's still watching. That way it's more special. I hope your competition build went well, and I hope the build design idea I shared on my last video did help you. I know it probably had to be modified a lot, but like I expected, it's not one of those builds that you could copy because it really depended on a very specific number of spots to work. And I didn't have enough time to properly test it, so yeah. The next competition will be a milk meta. We don't have all the details yet, but by the sounds of it, expect some kind of twist to the rules. I would appreciate it if you could like this video, and please leave a comment on how the competition went for you. Maybe you experienced the same issues as me. Maybe you had more gray screen frowny faces than me. I think I had around 8 or 9 of them. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I appreciate all your support. Thanks for watching.